Hello there, so today we're going to be doing a first impression of the Makeup Revolution Brighter Than My Future palette. So this is filled with 8 different highlighters. I wasn't sure maybe if this one was like a blush and if this one was like more of a shimmery bronzer, but they do all kind of describe themselves as highlighters. There are a different mix of their kind of highlight formula within this palette. You've got the Shimmer Brick, which is this one and this one. I love the Shimmer Bricks from Makeup Revolution. Also got Trio highlighter, and you've got a baked highlighter, which I have no idea. I think this one is the baked highlighter. They brought this palette out along with another palette, which I think is called the Glow Getter palette. I decided to go for the Brighter Than My Future because the Glow Getter one, if that is the name, or maybe I've just completely like plucked it out of thin air, but that one is full of like, it's 8 of their Skin Kiss formula kind of in a palette, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Skin Kiss formula, so it was kind of like a no for me. Palette costs $15.99. however, it is currently on sale, I think for Black Friday, and it's £10.50, but I think by the time I get the video up that probably will be over, so it's probably like $15.99, which I don't think is that bad for, you know, a palette of 8 different highlight shades. As you can see as well, there is a little bit of a theme running with this palette. You've got very kind of, you know, bronzy, goldy, rose goldy, peachy kind of tones, which I actually love. A lot of people think that they can be a little bit like intimidating if you've got fair skin, but I actually love like a rose gold kind of highlight because I think it actually kind of warms up my face. So anyway, I've not actually taken this bad boy palette out of its packaging yet, so I have just birthed it. I call it birthing when I, you know, slide the product out of the packaging, because let's face it, it's a new product into the world. I mean, it's like my new highlighting palette baby. I am going to be swatching all of these for you today, and I'm going to be applying as many as I can to my face. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to apply without it just looking crazy, but I'm going to do the best that I can do with, you know, having 2 cheeks. Up close, this is what all of the different shades look like. I just want this to be a little bit of a like swatch fest more than anything probably for you. I know that swatches lie. Sometimes, you know, you can't tell a whole lot from a swatch, or a product may swatch terribly, but then it turns out to be like bombastic upon the face. So, you know, I think you can only judge so much with a swatch, but I love watching swatch videos, so that's what we're going to be starting off with today. I'm going to start with Bougie or Boogie. I think it's Bougie though. I think it's Bougie. This looks, oh, it feels so fecking soft, like literally. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. This is like an icy peach shade. I'm a huge fan of like peach blush, just peach eyeshadow, peach dildos. I just love peach. So this looks really beautiful. If I just, where should I swatch it? The eternal problem. I'll just swatch it here. Okay, so, I mean, it's not extremely pigmented, but it's a highlighter, so I suppose we don't want it to be like the most pigmented, sassy highlighter in the world, but I mean, it looks nice. I must say though, it's not giving me a whole lot. Like, it's not giving me a whole lot of like shine or sheen, or what else can I think of beginning with S? Sassiness. It's just, you know, not blowing my pants off right now. We're going to go in with Extra. Okay, so this one definitely feels a bit rougher than the first one. Looks extremely beautiful. Let's see, can we get this one to like show up? Yes, we can. Oh my gosh, look at that. The actual like formula of this is very kind of finely milled, so it has that kind of, you know, wet look sheen to it, and I'm really liking it. It is a little bit powdery, and I do worry that a few of these may have that, you know, typical Makeup Revolution highlight formula where they look beautiful but they don't really last because they are so kind of finely milled. They just, well, in my experience, they can just kind of, you know, leave your face a bit earlier than you would want them to. But anyway, so next we have Snatched. I like my vagina. I mean, I wish my vagina was, it's definitely not snatched. after 2 kids. But anyway, that's... So this one reminds me a little bit of the Ofra and Nikki Tutorials collab, in that it's got 3 kind of different highlight shades, and they just remind me of the Ofra one. So if I just kind of swirl my finger around them all, and you end up with like a gold shade. So I feel like this one would maybe be a little bit too ambitious for my skin type and tone. And yes, my head is nodding, it's agreeing. Yes, Anwen, yes. Maybe a little bit too gold for me, but it's still a beautiful shade, and it has that lovely kind of glow to it. Again, though, very kind of powdery. I know that loads of people love Makeup Revolution highlighters, and I love Makeup Revolution highlighters too, but I do just have that one complaint, that I do feel like a lot of the time they can just not have much lasting power. Okay, so next we're going to move on to one of the Shimmer Bricks, and I do have a couple of these in my collection and I adore them. So this one is in the shade Shook. I'm just going to run my finger throughout all of the different shades. And again, you've got a very similar looking shade to the last one. Let's see, does it swatch the same? Like, it kind of looks similar. Yeah, they kind of look very similar indeed. But of course, like these last 2 that I've swatched, they look similar when you mix all of the different shades together. But I suppose like you can mix and match. And, you know, if you wanted to add a little bit more of, like, say for example, if we wanted to add a little bit more lightness to this one, I wonder if we can do that by just blending in a little bit of the lighter shade. See, it does tone it down a bit. So I do feel like you can kind of customize shades, and if you're like a highlighter junkie, I think you could have a lot of fun with this palette, just fecking around with it, creating your own customized shades. Okay, so next, I'm just wiping my fingers on my sock. I mean, really, by the way, I'm freezing today. It's so cold. That's why I have my headband on. And this morning well, it's our conference at work, like a 10-year conference, I don't know, something. And this morning we went on a walk around like an estate. I know, sounds like great fun. But anyway, it was actually okay. It was quite good. But everyone was going on to like the evening do, and I wasn't going to the evening do because I had to pick the kids up from school and nursery. So I kind of got out of it. So then I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to go home because there's no point in me hanging around the office whilst everyone's just getting glammed up, you know, for the evening do. There's me just stood there like, hi, you know, really, what's the point? Life's too short for that. So anyway, I just got off home, but I'm really worried now because I didn't tell my manager, and I'm thinking I should have told my manager, and now I'm just worried. And I heard the police sirens before, and I was thinking, they're coming, I'm being arrested, I should not have left work early. I mean, I'm kind of feeling bad, but anyway, we'll carry on. I mean, really. So this next shade is Lit, which is a very popular word amongst the younger generation, I believe, these days. That's lit, that's dope, that's... What else do they say? I have no idea, because I'm not part of like the young generation anymore. This one is a very interesting shade. I thought it was going to be like a, you know, typical kind of bronzer shade, but it looks quite yellow. So if I just swatch this bad boy there, like, I'm not a huge fan of this. If I am, you know, obviously being honest, which I always will be, I'm not a huge fan. I feel like it looks kind of like diarrhea that has gone through a tunnel of, stick with me here guys, like literally stick with me here, a tunnel of glitter. So it's got a little bit glittery on the way out, but ultimately it is just diarrhea, you know. I'm not the biggest fan of Lit. I don't know how I would get that to work on me. I suppose you could mix it with some of the other shades if you wanted to do that, but not my favourite. But, you know, that's fine. There's 8 shades in here. I suppose you're not going to love all 8. Okay, so next we're moving on to Yes! That's its name. I mean, really, I wasn't just saying yes. By the way, that's another younger generation word. Yes! I mean, really. Okay, so, by the way, I've got a feeling I'm going to love this because it's pretty much identical to one I not already have that isn't called Yes, but it's called Radiant Brick, something like that. Yes! Maybe that's why it's called Yes, because when you look at it, you go, yes! I know, that's got annoying at this point. I know. Okay, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful rose gold shade. Again, it is a kind of shimmer brick, so you do have lots of different shades going on in there, but ultimately if you kind of swatch through all of them, you end up with this like rosy pink, rose gold. I didn't even know what I was saying back there. I was like, rosy pink, will I find my way? And no, just rose gold. Was that what I was saying? I don't know. I'm so confused right now. You can definitely customize this. I customize the one that I've got because I do find that the two bronze stripes, they can kind of dominate everything else. So if you do want to make it a little bit more wearable, if you've got fairer skin, then you know you can just maybe go through one of the bronze stripes or eliminate that altogether. But you will have to be very, you know, nifty with your brush, you know, to get that to work, unless you just went in with your finger. And you know, let's face it, it's never a bad thing to go in with your finger. I mean, really. Was that too much? That was too much, wasn't it? Anyway, back to the highlighters. So next we have a Poser. This is the one that I thought may possibly be a blush because, I mean, it kind of is giving me blush vibes right now. So, by the way, I've just remembered I actually have to pop these on my face and I'm like 12 minutes in, still swatching. I mean, really? So, oh my gosh, this is gorgeous. This one is Poser. Okay, it's not really showing up much. Let me just go in again, guys. Take my breath away. Look at this. It's so beautiful. Look at that. It's just like a gorgeous, slightly shimmery baby pink, and I'm loving it. Let me just, oh, feck, I'm running out of places to swatch. I'll swatch it there. Oh, no, God, I love it. I've got to get that on my face, like, first. That's just beautiful. Next, we're going to go in with Slay, which is a, like, bright white, very intense highlight for all of my fair-skinned ladies out there. Yes. Hello. This one has turned up to the party in a tuxedo with a bottle of wine that it just bought from the shop for £5. This one is ready to party. I mean, this one is down, down, down. Let's swatch it here. Where did it go? It was here 1 minute. It was ready to party. And then this happened. Did it drink all the wine? And now it's comatose. Okay, I'm going to give that one another little bit of a go at working. Okay, so, right. Okay, that looks majestical upon my finger, but why is it not fecking swatching? I mean, what? Can you see? Like, you can see it. It's definitely added something, but like compared with like, look at this, right? So swatch on finger and then on hand. I mean, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, but I think I was expecting more. But would more have been good? Probably not. Okay, so I'm going to begin with the swatching on my face portion of the video. I think I'm going to go in with this one first because I just absolutely loved how it looked swatched, so I've got to go in with that one. I mean, how could I not? I mean, really? Okay, so I'm going to pop it on this side, I think. Okay, so that's a very interesting and quite unique, like, shade. I feel like you're probably not really going to be able to see it much, but on the cheeks, it's got a very light kind of shimmer. It's very subtle. You could definitely just wear this as a blush, and you probably would need a bit of highlight, you know, over the top just to make it glow to the gods. What's that noise? Okay, that's weird. It sounded like there were men, like, literally right outside my window, but I don't know. It's bizarre. Okay, so this is beautiful. I'm loving it. I know you probably can't really see it, which is a real shame, but like in person, it's just given my cheek a really beautiful pop of like a peachy pink, which is just perfect because I love pink, I love peach. And to have them rolled into one is amazing. I'm loving the fact that it's not super like glowy or intense, but I'm also loving the fact that it's not matte. It's like somewhere in between, and it's really, really beautiful. So, okay, so that's that one, and I love it. Next, we're going to go in with, I mean, I've got that one already in my collection, so I'm going to go in with Extra. No, I'm not. I'm going to go in with Boogie, and I'm going to pop that on the other side because I'm going to use this as like a shimmery blush. This was the one that didn't really show up on the swatch. And this brush is really kind of densely packed. So usually I get, you know, a lot out of this brush. And it's definitely very similar to Poser. It's one of those kind of in-betweens. It's not highlight, it's not a matte blush. It's somewhere in the middle. It's really, really pretty. I believe that I could probably build this up if I wanted to, but because I've got other shades to swatch, I'm not going to feck about and do that today. But what I will tell you, both of these are winners for me. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to go in with Extra. These are pretty powdery. I'm just popping that up there. Okay, so this is nice. This is really, really pretty. On the, oh, I almost fell off my stool. I mean, really, could you imagine? This is really beautiful. I mean, it's definitely like a very light champagne kind of shade. And I bet if I were to put some Fix Plus, should we do it? Let's do it. I'll pop some Fix Plus on my brush. I wasted most of that. Like, literally, I know I say that every single time, but I just can't bear the amount of like money I've wasted with Fix Plus just like going into the atmosphere. Okay, guys, look at this. Okay, so I like it. It's great. It's definitely like showing up a lot of the texture on my skin, and I know that any kind of highlight will do that, but this one is doing it quite a lot, if you see what I mean. And usually if I spray a little bit of like Fix Plus on my brush, it just kind of smooths it out a bit. But yeah, this one is just really kind of showing every single pore. But I mean, it's beautiful. Okay, so next we're going to go in with, yes, oh, will I? Because I've already swatched that. Okay, I'm going to go in with a Slay on the other side. And my brush is still a bit wet, so I'm just going to go in with it as it is. Okay, it would help if I had a mirror, but I don't. What is my life right now? Why can I not find a mirror? I've got a million different palettes. Okay, we've got one. We've got one. So this one is Slay. Again, I mean, it's so highlighting the texture on my skin. It's like a magnifying glass. And I know every highlighter will do this, but some of them definitely do it more than others. And this is guilty of that. But I mean, you can't argue with the glow. I mean, as well, if you're lucky enough not to have a lot of texture on your skin, then these would just be sensational. So okay, pop a little bit up on my nose. I mean, apologies, I got a phone call and completely forgot where I was. So okay, so next I'm going to go in with a little bit of Snatched, and I'm going to kind of focus on the two lighter shades, just because I know that if I go in with like the deeper of the shades, it's probably not going to work. So and this one, look at that. Oh my gosh, that is sensational. And again, this is a warmer shade. And I know that probably a lot of you out there are probably thinking, Anwen, that's way too deep for you, but like, I kind of like it. I mean, I like the glowy bronzed cheek, and I'm loving the formula, right, on this. I love the formula on that because I've already got that. So I know I love the formula on that. I'm loving this one and this one, even though they're not the most pigmented. I think it's a beautiful, as I said before, in-between shade of not being matte and not being shimmer. It's just a really nice formula. Okay, and just to finish off, I'm going to go in with this one. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting covered at this point. I'm just getting absolutely covered. I do feel like in this palette, right, this is the only thing that I'll say as a negative is, firstly, I just think $15.99 is actually a great price for the palette, but just keep in mind that I don't feel like these two really can call themselves highlighters. They're kind of like more of a not matte blush, like a satin finish blush, if that makes sense. I feel like these two, if you're going to just like put your brush in there and mix them all together, give you the same effect. This one is one that, I mean, I'll put up a little bit on my nose before I judge it. But I don't really like the shade of that. Like, it's not bronze, it's not gold, it's kind of a yellowy gold, which isn't for me. But yeah, what I'm going to say is I think this palette would suit an array of different skin tones if you're fair. you know, all the way up to deep. I think it would be a very versatile palette. I think it's very inclusive. I think they've picked a really good range of highlighters and satin blushes, you know, to pop in the palette. I think they've done really, really well with their kind of selection. I just think it's beautiful. I love the way that Makeup Revolution are always, you know, and I mean this in the nicest possible way, but they're kind of always like trying to dupe the more expensive high-end products so that us people that don't really have the budgets to be able to afford the more expensive higher-end products, we can still like get to enjoy like the idea of those products, if that makes sense. And also Makeup Revolution is generally really good quality, so I commend Makeup Revolution for that. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and they're doing it and still managing to keep their prices low, unlike drugstore brands at the moment. So I really do think Makeup Revolution are just an amazing brand, and I couldn't imagine life without them, to be honest, at this point. So I would definitely say, if you have been thinking about treating yourself to this palette, I definitely don't think you would be disappointed whatsoever. I think the formula of a lot of these kind of highlighters are definitely going to be more complementary if you've got like skin that doesn't have a lot of texture on it, but again, that's kind of a moot point because that would go with any highlighting palette. I think it's really fun. It's great. It would be brilliant if you're just kind of starting out in makeup and, you know, you just want to delve right into the world of highlighters. This would be a beautiful way to do that if you've got a teenage daughter, or, you know, a 4-year-old daughter or 4-year-old son. It doesn't have to be daughter. If you've just got a child that's interested in makeup, I think this would be a really good kind of starter palette for them. It'd be a great gift for someone as well if you're kind of thinking about Christmas. So I think anyone who received this would just be, you know, so happy with it. So anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I'm feeling super bronzed and glowy right now. But thank you so much for watching. And why am I going so fast? I mean, really, Anwen, there's no rush to end the video. I mean, really. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back soon with more. Bye.